Good morning, welcome to yet another episode of John Works Too Much. So today we got started before we filmed because it was raining pretty hard and we got pretty wet, but we survived. So what we got is there was these two rooms, this add-on sunroom kind of whatever in the world it is, and it had a drainage issue that kept leaking water into the house, and then it was moldy, and they don't want that. So they want us to take all this down but keep the roof and then put a beam up here and then support that, and then we're gonna put in a new sliding glass door and a window, and then we're gonna fix the siding in the soffit. So that's what we're gonna do. You probably noticed I didn't upload any videos yesterday. You know why? It's because it's Sunday. You gotta take Sundays off. Everybody knows that. And I know what you're thinking. John, you work too much. How could you take days off? Allow me to elaborate. So you might think to yourself, couldn't you get more done in 7 days than you could in 6? No, that's dumb, because then you're gonna wear yourself out, and that's one thing I'm not about. So this guy was walking through the woods. This bow hunter was walking through the woods, and he sees this priest, okay? And the priest is just sitting there, just enjoying nature, and he's just like looking at the birds, and he's kind of eating a sandwich. And the hunter's like, you're a priest. Shouldn't you be doing like God's work? Shouldn't you be out there like saving people's lives and saving their souls and stuff like that? And the priest doesn't even like stop eating his sandwich. He just kind of looks up at him and he goes, I noticed you unstring your bow. Why is that? And he goes, because if I don't unstring my bow, if it's always under tension, then whenever I need it, it won't have the strength that I need. And he's like, how can you understand something so simple in the real world about unstringing your bow, but you can't understand that we need a break too? So take a break, right? And also look, don't blame lazy people. They didn't do anything. So a lot of you ask me constantly, probably 17 times a day, John, how does a beam work? And how do you make this work? So what we're gonna do is we're taking this wall out, but if we take this wall out, then what's gonna happen? This whole ceiling is just gonna fall down. We don't want that. We wanna keep this, okay? So how does a beam work? Well, allow me to elaborate. So you see how this is a header right here? So this right here, that's called a king stud because it goes all the way up to the top, and then there's a double header up here, and this one is called a jack stud because it takes the weight of this beam. Okay, it's the small, it's the header, and then this jack stud takes the weight as well. So this sits on here, that then takes the weight all the way down to the concrete. Okay, so if we're taking more weight across a longer span, then we need a bigger beam. And so we've got like 2x12, and what we're gonna do on this particular thing is we're gonna temporarily support this, right? We're gonna put something up under here and then hold it up, and then we're gonna take this out, and then we're gonna put the beam in, and then we're gonna put supports up underneath it, and then that will take the weight across here. So usually on a covered porch, hold on a second while I fly my airplane over myself. Well, that's just pleasant. Usually on a porch cover, you want to have a 4x4 about every 8 feet, and this is 21 feet, so we're going to do 4. We'll have 1 on each end and then 2 in the middle. We'll evenly space them out. So you'll have a 4x4 and a couple others, and then we'll rest that beam up on top of the 4x4 right up underneath here, and that'll hold all this weight. So we're going to temporarily hold it up, put the beam in, and then take this out, and then it'll rest back on the beam, right? So really there should be it shouldn't settle at all because it's going to be the same height as what it is after the fact. So that is how that's going to work. We're going to have to do something similar, I think, across here, because this is a little bit different once we got into it than what we anticipated, but that's okay. We're also going to take this sliding glass door out. It's a triple sliding glass door right now, and we're going to take that out, but this is walled up because they added a fireplace, and so we're going to wall this up around here and put in a sliding glass door, and we'll put a window in over there, and we'll show you guys how to do that too. So I just want to say that years ago, I started thinking about it. I was like, you know what? I'm not going to offer criticism to people unless I have a solution and I'm willing to help. I think I've talked about this before, but I think it's important. And I really thought, man, I'm going to be missing out. Like, I could tell people how dumb they are and what a bad job they're doing, and just like really insult them. And I thought, I'm really going to be missing out if I don't continue to do this. And years have passed. And I got to tell you, I don't feel like I'm missing out at all. I am so much happier, right? And I think the people around me are happier too, because they're like, you're not so mean anymore. you're kind of nice, and I don't mind it. So if there's something that I notice that people could use some improvement on, and I'm willing to help, then I will take that person aside, just me and them, and say, hey, in the nicest possible way, I've noticed this problem, and I think this might be a solution, and if you want some help, then I'm willing to help you. And if they say no, then I'm like, have a good day, and I'm done, right? I said my piece. If you don't want my help, if you don't want this done, then perfect. And I don't like go talk about them behind their back, and I don't tell them how stupid they are or anything like that. I'm just like, I just wanted to offer the help, and that's it. And I think that if more people criticize like that, we'd have a much happier world. So give it a shot. Just try it. Just one time. Just go, man, you know what? I feel like I need to criticize that person. And then stop yourself and be like, am I willing to help? And maybe you're not. And then just let it go and see what happens. My guess is you'll be happier. All right, we're gonna get back to it. So I wanted to demonstrate how this works. We temporarily brace this up, okay, all the way down. And then we temporarily brace it up over here and on the far end. And then we took out this wall and we cut off all the nails. And now we're putting on these 4x4s and we're gonna put the beam in. So we have to have all hands on deck when we do this, so we can actually show you how to do it. But this is what you do. You hold it up, keep the weight, so like this thing would just collapse, but we've got it held up temporarily. Then we got our uprights, we're gonna do 2 more, and then we're gonna do a beam. And then once we do that, then we'll rest it back onto the weight of this, and that should take all the weight of this whole thing. And it's gonna be truly amazing. And then we're probably gonna do a beam over here and one over there. We'll show you how to do that. And that's that. Oh, and then we need to keep talking about some cool stuff. So what do you want to talk about, helper with no name? Nothing? She says nothing. So be nice to each other and don't vote for me. I'm running for Senate. Okay, so we put the beam in. We got the 4x4s in. So you can see all this is now taking the weight. And now we're gonna knock this stuff out. And let's see if it doesn't fall on us. It worked. So that's how a beam works. See, that beam takes the weight of this whole thing, and that's how it works. Don't take down your uprights like that. That's pretty dangerous. But I just want to say for the record that we don't see the world the way that the world is. We see the world the way that we are. Think about that. Get back with me. So we got the beam up. We showed you that. We took all this stuff out. We got all cleaned out. We got the sliding glass door in, which is very nice. And then we framed all this up so that it fits right, because remember it was kind of a different mess. So we framed all this sticking out, and then we put this window in right here, which is also nice, and then framed all this stuff out. And tomorrow we're gonna put soffit up in, we're gonna wrap this beam, we're gonna put siding in here, and make it all look pretty, and then probably caulk and paint too. So I went to Home Depot and I was like, hey, I need some 2x4s. And the guy taking my order was like, well, how long do you need them? I was like, a really long time, like I'm building a house. And then he looked at me like, no, the length. I was like, oh, yeah, 8 feet. So we got all this siding up. We got these beams in. I think we talked about that. So we took all this nonsense out, right? And we got this beam up here. It's resting on here. It's resting on there. Same thing on that side. So there's a beam all the way around. It's holding the weight. We got the soffit up. We got the siding up, sliding glass door, and the window in. And then we got all that trimmed out. Now, we've got 4x4s here, pressure treated 4x4s. But we're like, what can we do to make these look better? And last week we did some columns, the metal columns, and those were pretty cool, pretty expensive too. These for significantly less, I'm trying to think, probably, I don't know, 1/10 of the cost. We can just wrap this, we just rip it with a table saw, and then shoot it. And then that looks pretty nice. So then we'll caulk that and we'll paint that, and I think that'll be a better look than just that nasty looking 4x4. So I don't really talk about this type of thing a whole lot, but some of you guys know, a lot of you guys know that I didn't meet my dad till I was 27. He was really good at playing hide and seek. So when I was 2, he's like, hey, hide your eyes. And I did. And then I didn't see him again till I was 27. I've seen him a handful of times since. And it's been impossible to get in touch with him because he's homeless. And so he hasn't had an address until about a month ago. For the first time for the first time since he was a teenager, and he's probably almost 70, he actually had an address that I could write back to him. And so I did, and I wrote him, and I told my brother, my sister, and my kids, you know, how to get in touch with him. And I just said, hey, these are the things that I'm doing, and here's a couple pictures and stuff, and then, you know, love you. And he wrote back like a 3-page front and back, so, you know, like 6-page letter, handwritten, which was pretty nice. And in that letter, he said, I'm proud of you for all the things that you're doing. And he also said, I love you. And, you know, probably most people are like, that's cool. That's what a dad should say. And I'm not looking for sympathy here, but I realized, I was sitting there reading it, and I realized that is the first time in my life that I've heard my dad say, I'm proud of you. And it's the first time in my life that I've heard my dad say, I love you. So that was kind of special. But there are lots of people out there that maybe don't get the same kind of, I don't know, family that other people do. And it's probably helpful, and I am not looking for sympathy. I'm just saying I think that I'm pretty well adjusted, I guess. But there are other people out there, you know, kids and stuff, that really take this stuff seriously. And so sometimes they act out, and I know that I certainly did. And, you know, maybe if you have a little bit extra compassion for those people, I think it makes a big difference. So anyway, in the morning we're gonna caulk this, then we're gonna paint it, and then we're gonna move on to another job. All right, love you guys. So this morning we caulked everything, and it looks significantly better. You can tell that caulk does an amazing thing. Now we're gonna paint, which will take moments, and then we gotta wire in this switch, have my electrician wire in the switch, and this fan over here, and then I think clean up and go to the dump. So that'll be that. So I've got, and I realize that this sounds very hypocritical, but I've got a beauty tip for you. And I know what you're thinking, John, you're a boy and you're not pretty, so how can you give beauty tips? Let me tell you. And you're gonna want to hear this one, because this is important. This goes for everybody. I don't care how ugly you are. I don't care how bad looking you are. If you look like you got run over by a truck and then dropped down the ugly tree and hit every branch on the way down, it does not matter, because this will help you. This beauty tip will help you. Are you ready? Put on a smile. No matter how ugly you are to everybody else, if you put on a smile, you will be beautiful. And no matter how pretty you are, if you go around looking like you sucked on a lemon and had somebody wipe poop on your upper lip like this all day long, less pretty. So wear a smile. It'll help you out. What else we got? I think that's it, isn't it? Yeah, okay, cool. See you in a bit. All right, so we got everything done. As you can tell, it looks beautiful. The world is a better place. Evil has been defeated. Good is conquered, as it always does. Light has overcome darkness. So everything got painted. We got the gutter back up, the fans in, the lights in. Everything looks good. I don't know if you guys remember this, but 2 days ago when we started this thing, it was dark and rainy and cloudy and dingy and old. And now the sun's out and it's like 75 degrees. It's beautiful. Like there's not a cloud in the sky. I feel really good. It's like spring just all of a sudden came. So I don't take full credit, but I'm gonna take some credit for that. All right, so I want to talk to you guys about a pastor from Africa talked about this years ago, and I was like, ooh, that's a really good point he makes. So he said, motion does not constitute progress, right? And a lot of times we think, aha, I'm moving in a direction, therefore I'm making progress, right? Incorrect. So he said, what the devil will do is take you from step A and point you at step B, and you're like, see, I'm going in the right direction. And then you're going in that direction, you finally get to step B, you're like, progress, this is great. I'm a good person. You pat yourself on the back, you get everybody else to pat you on the back, and they're like, yeah, you're the best, and whatever. Anyway, then he gets you all confused and spins you around and points you right back at step A again. And you keep going back to step A. And you're like, yeah, look, I'm making progress. You're like, you're not, you're going backwards. And then you're like, oh, wait, I need to be over there. And then you spin around and you go, no, I was going in the wrong direction. Hold on, I'm gonna go to step B again. And then you go towards step B and you make some progress. You're like, look at me, I'm doing good. Everybody's like, yeah, you are. You pat yourself on the back, everybody else pats you on the back. You're at step B again. Once again, he spins you around a little bit, you get all confused, you go back to step A again. This cycle continues until you die, okay? This is a problem. I wonder what is at step C or step D or Z, or maybe it goes beyond that. I don't know. Like, is there another end beyond where you've been stopping? I think that you're stopping short of your potential, and maybe you're thinking, look, I did it. And you're like, you did what? You made the first step? Oh, that's cute. Are you ever going to go farther than that? Are you ever going to be amazing? Because you can do anything you set your mind to. Maybe not anything, but definitely some stuff. You can do some of the things that you set your mind to. Like, I can't get pregnant because I'm a boy. There's some stuff you can't do. I can't fly unless I'm in an airplane. I can fly out of an airplane, but not for long. Maybe like a minute. And then it's really not the falling that gets you, it's that sudden impact at the ground. That'll kill you. And look, if at first you don't succeed, maybe skydiving wasn't right for you. All right, I'll see you guys on the next one. That's it.